Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Julia, and today's big idea is gonna change the way we look at ourselves.
It's true. The big idea is that God's love is bigger than our mistakes. So Julia, have you ever done anything that you felt horrible about, but it turned out that it wasn't really a big deal?
Definitely. So once I was trying to teach my friend's cat how to do a flip, but he isn't very good at landing on his feet, and when I flipped him, he just flopped. And he didn't get hurt, and my friends were laughing their heads off, but I was pretty worried.
Oh, the poor cat. Well, let's watch this and see how amazing God's love is.
What do you call a bear with no ears? A bee. Hi, I'm Mikayla, and it's nice to see you again. So when I was in high school, I went to a special art school for music theater, and one of our big final projects was to sing a song in front of the entire class. Now, I got so nervous that I messed up and was completely off tempo. Well, I knew I was gonna get a really bad grade, but my teacher stopped me and gave me a second chance. And when I did it the next time, it was so much better, and I actually got a good mark. And that reminds me of today's big idea, which is God's love is bigger than our mistakes. So in this series, we are talking about Moses. And in today's story, we hear about how the Israelites really messed up, but God still loved them because his love is way bigger than our mistakes. So remember last time, Moses was getting all of these instructions from God. So Moses was in the mountains for 40 days and 40 nights. And the Israelites were getting so nervous that they thought he would never come back. So they convinced Moses' brother Aaron to build them a god. So Aaron got all of this gold and built a golden calf out of it. The next day, the Israelites burnt offerings, drank, and danced around the golden calf. And so God was so angry that he told Moses to go down the mountain and tell them not to do that. So Moses went down the mountain with the 2 stone tablets that held the covenant that God had written himself. When Moses saw the people dancing and worshiping around the calf, he got so angry that he threw the stone tablets down on the floor and smashed them to pieces. He took the gold calf and he burnt it down to the ground. He turned to Aaron and said, "Why did you do this?" And Aaron said, "I just wanted to do what the people asked." Moses saw that the people were out of control, and he was very upset. He told the people that he was going back up the mountain to ask God to forgive them for what they had done. But God told Moses to keep on going with the Israelites, but that he was going to have to discipline them in a way. He told them that he was going to give them a sickness. It's kind of like when your parents send you to your room because you do something bad. It's a way of showing love and making sure that you grow and learn from this mistake. Moses went to the tent of meeting to speak with God. He asked God to show him more about himself and who he would send with him. God said, "I will go with you, and I will give you rest." Moses asked God to show him his glory, his magnificence, his beauty. And God said, "My goodness will go before you, and my name will be with you, but I cannot show you my face." God told Moses to cut 2 stone tablets like the ones he had smashed, and that the next morning he was to meet him up on the mountain all alone. So the next morning, the Lord appeared in a cloud. Let's see what he said. "I am the Lord, the Lord. I am the God who is tender and kind. I am gracious. I am slow to get angry. I am faithful and full of love." Moses bowed down to the ground at once and worshipped. "Lord," he said, "if you are pleased with me, then go with us. Even though these people are stubborn, forgive the evil things we have done. Forgive our sins and accept us as your people." Then the Lord said, "I am making a covenant with you. I will do wonderful things in front of all your people. I will do amazing things that have never been done before in any nation in the whole world. The people you live among will see the things that I, the Lord, will do for you, and they will see how wonderful those things really are." Then the Lord gave Moses even more instructions, and again Moses stayed on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. But this time the Israelites waited. The Lord wrote on the new tablets the words of the covenant, also known as the 10 Commandments. Moses brought down the tablets, and his face was shining so bright because he had just talked to God. People were kind of afraid, so he wore a veil. But when he would talk to God, he would remove the veil. So even though the Israelites kept messing up, God still loved them because God's love is bigger than our mistakes. And that's true for us today. When we make mistakes, we can know that we are forgiven and loved because God's love is bigger than our mistakes. And that's it for me. It's been so nice talking with you. I'm Mikayla, and I'll see you around.
Quickly turn to the person next to you and discuss the following questions.
Before the time runs out!
Question time!
In today's story, what happened to the Israelites when Moses was spending a long time with God? After Moses went to speak with God again and asked God to forgive his people, God gave him another set of tablets with the commandments on them. When Moses came back down the mountain, what was different about Moses' appearance?
Game time! Groundhogs! Can you say the key verse before all the groundhogs drop? Get ready! 3, 2, 1, go! Say it with me. My faithful God, answer me when I call out to you. Give me rest from my trouble. Psalm 4, verse 1.
Wow, the fact that God showed love and kindness to the Israelites even after they made a golden calf really proves how he will look past our mistakes and just love us.
It's true, and it shows that we shouldn't hold a grudge when people hurt us, and we should love the way that God does.
We're gonna watch a video now and see what our friends think about this.
Have you ever made a mistake but didn't get into trouble?
I remember this one time I was babysitting my sisters, and one of my chores was to wipe down the counters and do the dishwasher. But since we were watching a movie, I forgot to do that, and I was really concerned that my mom would get angry at me. But when my mom got home, she said that I could just do it tomorrow and that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, I got a really bad mark on a test because I didn't study, and my parents really told me to study. But then when I told them, they were just like, oh, it's okay.
Mowing someone's lawn by accident mowed the wrong part, and I thought that I was going to be in trouble when they came home, but they weren't.
One time I was working on a project with my friend, and we went to the library together, and we kind of lost track of time and didn't do it. And the next day I couldn't hand it in, and I told my mom, but she didn't get mad at me.
Yes, I've made a mistake
because I forget.
Have you ever been hurt but could still forgive the person?
Last year, one of my friends and I got into a fight, but this year I forgave her and she forgave me, and now we're really good friends again.
When my brother pushed me off the boat, I forgave him. They said a bad word to me, then I forgave them. I showed my friend something funny and she just walked away. I decided to forgive her.
There was this girl who pushed me on a slide, face first, and then my nose started bleeding. But then she apologized, so I was like, it's okay. When is it hard to forgive someone?
It's kind of hard. It's do I really have to forgive you? It's not gonna be easy. When they did something really bad to me, then it's hard.
When they don't feel sorry about when they hurt you.
And they don't treat you like they would treat their other friends.
Yeah, when they do it on purpose, then it's hard to forgive them.
Because they hurt you and you're really angry at them, so it's hard to forgive them.
It's a little bit easy for me.
Why do you think God always forgives us?
I think that God always forgives us just because he loves us so much and he wants to set an example.
He sacrificed his son Jesus to die on the cross so that we could be forgiven.
He forgives us always because he loves us. It's not hard for him
Because he loves us no matter what. Because he has a lot of love.
He wants us to be part of his family.
So we should go and love each other and forgive each other.
Remember, God's love is bigger than our mistakes.
I love that video with our friends, and it shows that what we say to each other does matter.
Absolutely, and it's the perfect reminder that no matter what we do, God will always love us.
Let's get into our small groups and talk about how we see this in our lives.
Bye.